Hello there, welcome to today's video. I'm going to show you what's inside this Micro Packs backpack. I got this as a gift for Christmas, and when I opened it and found out it had tiny art supplies in it, I immediately got so excited and I just knew I had to make a video trying to use these tiny art supplies because I was wondering if it was even possible. So this backpack actually has a keychain on it, and I think I'm actually going to put it on my backpack, so I have a mini backpack on my backpack. But anyway, it has even like little straps, and it has a pocket that actually works and has quite a bit of space in the front. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to put in it when I use it, but it's pretty handy. So let me show you what is inside this backpack. The first thing I pull out are these really adorable stickers. They have like a pineapple, flamingo, popcorn, donut. I think I'm going to have to incorporate those in my drawing later on. The second thing I pull out is a rainbow, like a folder. That's what it's called. I couldn't think for a moment. A folder that you can put little things in, I guess. And then the next thing I find, this is my favorite. This is a tiny little art palette. Painter's palette, and it's just so cute. Oh my gosh, that little paintbrush is adorable, and the little actual like paint themselves. I really hope they work, as we will find out if they do. The next thing I pull out is this tiny little yellow rubber, which at first I didn't know if there was going to come with one, but I'm really glad they did, so I could use like a little mini one while I actually do the drawing. And then, a pencil, which I also didn't know was going to be in there at first, but I'm really glad. At first I thought I was going to have to use the paint palette and use my own size pencil and rubber, because I noticed it had a tiny paint palette on the packaging, but I'm really glad they included those. And then a tiny little sticky note pad, that's what it's called. Tiny little heart sticky note pad. But yeah, the inside of the backpack is actually quite big. You could fit a lot of stuff in there. But I'm just going to zip it up for now and move on to the drawing. So here is all the tiny art supplies all together. So I decided that I was going to do tiny little drawings that could fit inside the folder. I measured out my 2 pieces of papers so they would fit perfectly in both sides of the folder. I had another look at these stickers because I wanted to use them as inspiration for my drawings that I'm going to use, because I thought they're just so adorable I have to include them. Here I just did some quick sketches just to get the idea of what I wanted to draw. As I said before, I wanted to include the stickers, so for the first one I did the big rainbow in the background, her wearing like heart sunglasses, and her eating a lollipop. Those 3 things represent the stickers. And then for the second drawing, I did a cat eating the giant donut. I just had to make something eating that delicious looking donut, so I decided to do a cat eating a massive one. So now I'm going to sketch both of the drawings out, and I will say I'm very surprised. This pencil actually worked very well. At first I thought maybe the lead could be like super hard or something, or like too light, but I actually really liked how it felt on the paper. And then I also, when I used the rubber, I was so shocked at how well it did. I have bought rubbers that have been like kind of expensive, and all it did was just smudge the graphite around, where this actually picked it up super well, and I think I'll continue to use the rubber. Even the back of the pencil rubber worked very well, which even the pencils I use on a day-to-day basis, the rubber on the top of the pencil is really not good, but this one worked fantastic. For the second drawing, I went quite summery. She's got like a beautiful big rainbow in the background and sunglasses and sucking on a lollipop, which I didn't even realize, but they're actually both like eating something. But yeah, I didn't include, sadly, all the stickers. I could only take inspiration from a few. But there's quite a few ones left, like the flamingo, the popcorn, the pineapple. Maybe I could do a part 2 of using the other stickers if you guys want to see that. So please let me know in the comments if you do. But yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. We're up to my favourite part, and that is to outline them. Now, this actually used to be the most daunting part of a drawing when I first got into black outlining. It was so scary because you could easily mess up. But now, after I've had a lot of practice, it's when the art piece starts to come together. I really like doing it. I didn't record myself doing the black outline of the drawing just because my camera was at a bit of an awkward angle, so I decided to do it off camera. Again, this rubber does a really good job of getting rid of the pencil. Time to test out this paint. This was the part I was most excited for, but also worried because it could go horribly wrong. Just in case if this paint didn't work, I wouldn't have a video, but obviously it did, but let's test it out. This brush I was really worried about using because as you can see here, this is my normal paintbrush and it's normally thin and soft, where this was the complete opposite. It had a very thick top and it just looked very harsh and rough, so interested to see how it works. As you can tell, I'm having a bit of trouble to get the pigment off of this pink. It was not coming off at all. I even had to check the box and it did say really works, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to trust it. So I decided to go in with my normal paintbrush and I just kept rubbing and rubbing around and it was still very, very light. But the more harder I scrubbed, the more pink came off, so I just realized it took a while for the water to settle in. But once it did and you just kept rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, then eventually the pigment came more stronger. But it still was very light. But at least it was better than before. I tried the green out and it actually, after I rubbed it quite a few times, it came off pretty pigmented. It was more of a cyan though than a dark green. So I tried the blue next and I was actually quite surprised that came out quite well. And then, oh, I dropped my paintbrush. So I tried with the original paintbrush and that came out kind of alright too. But I didn't want to quite give up yet on using the original brush, so I tried harder again, and then I found out it actually worked pretty well. Turns out the original brush though, the little red one, just needs a lot more scrubbing than the other one. So it was time to try out all the different colours. The brown was actually a lot more lighter than I expected, and then the yellow was a lot more pigmented than I thought it would be. And the red was more like an orange, but I thought I could use these colours to mix together since there was a lot of variety. Now the moment we've all been waiting for, to finally paint the drawings. Now this is where I wasn't sure quite how the big tip of the paintbrush was going to go, but like everything in this backpack, I'm quite surprised by how well it works. Even though it's so big, if I just use the edge of it, it did very well, like keeping in small areas. I also used a bottle cap as like a mini water jar, and I even cut out paper towels to be smaller size just so it was more like tinier art supplies. That was just a little fun thing I added. But the paper towel is really handy, like I accidentally dropped the yellow into the pink area and it easily soaked it up. After I let the first layer of paint dry, I went in for the second coat to do the shadows. The only thing with using that big paintbrush was it was very hard to do the rim of the glasses. As you can tell, I mucked up a few times. But what I needed to do was let the first layer dry and then try to go back into it, because if you have two wet paints beside each other, they'll bleed into each other, so you have to wait for like the glasses to dry before you do the hair. With turning the paper, it was a bit easier to get like the angle of the brush right to do the small areas. Now it was time for me to try and paint the skin, which I was a little nervous. I didn't know how like the light brown was going to mix with like the pinky red and the yellow, but it ended up making quite a nice skin tone. The thing I noticed that was quite different with this watercolour set than my own normal one was that it was quite a bit thicker. As you can see, it kind of covered up the black lines in like her hair and in certain places, so I do go back over it with a black outline. But for this little like paint palette inside a backpack, it was still actually really good paint. It wasn't that hard to work with. I actually really like it. But saying that, I probably won't use it on an everyday basis, but it was still fun to just try. Here are both of the drawings after I've given them another layer of like the black outline, just because the paint covered up some of it. And with using this white gel pen, I'm going to add the highlights in the cat's eye and in a few other places. Here are both of the drawings. I had a really great time drawing a more simpler like cartoon, because normally some of my drawings I spend like 3 hours on, but it was fun to just spend like half an hour just having fun testing out something new, and I really love how they came out. Now we get to see how they look in the folder. They look so cute, but I thought the folder themselves look a little plain, so I thought I might as well add the stickers that I used to base the drawings off of. Here they are all finished. They're so cute. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I had such a great time trying out these tiny art supplies. They were a struggle at sometimes, but the end result I really like. But I hope to see you next time. Bye!